So I'm just going to vamp basically and just kind of sit here saying absolutely nothing over and over. Just throwing out words there until I see somebody say something in the chat, and then I'll know that we're officially live. So if you're watching it on replay, it'll probably be a couple of minutes or maybe a few seconds. I don't know. But I think it just clicked. So maybe we are live, maybe we are not, but we are going to be talking about why I quit Madden, answering any and all questions you guys may have, giving some kind of final farewells to the game. I just had a private live stream to say kind of goodbye to my league and give them things there, which a couple of you guys showed up when it was, when it accidentally went public instead of private. But this is the official one. Hey, what is up? The first one here, Glenn. Welcome. What is up, Dubs? What is up, Noah? Welcome to the stream. Happy Saturday night. What is up, Chris? Hotchko. Welcome, guys. I feel like it has been forever since we had a typical 8 o'clock Saturday night Madden mobile stream. What is up, Tanner? What is up, Duck, DJB, Moist, Maya? Welcome, guys. This is, with a heavy heart, the final Madden mobile stream possibly ever. I will check out Madden Mobile 21 when it comes out. No promises as of yet that I will make content with it. But yeah, James, I am. And I thought, it's been about 3 years on YouTube now. And there were almost 15,000 people who for some reason thought me rambling into a camera talking about my favorite game was worth watching. And it has been an amazingly humbling experience. But I wanted to give you guys all the insight, all the info onto why I finally decided to hang up the game and leave it at that. So I'm going to go through, and I have the game up for a reason. We're not going to be playing a ton. I may, for craps and giggles, play something at some point, but I want to talk about it, and I'm going to talk specifics. I'm going to do some things in the game to talk about those. But I also want to give you guys some insight into what I'm thinking about the future of the channel. So before you unsubscribe, just know that there's going to be a small, probably change and kind of variety type of things where I'm going to be experimenting a little bit, but I have some ideas for helpful, useful content that I want to put out. And my commitment to you is whatever the heck I decide to do as far as content, when I look at that finished product, if it is not something that I think people will either like or find helpful, I will not hit the upload button. So even though the content is changing, I did do that poll for all of you guys. If you did not yet vote on the poll, you're here on the channel, go to the community tab. It might be like 1 or 2 posts back. Vote on the poll. Give me your feedback because I've been floating a couple of ideas of what I may turn the channel into. The reality is I think I may end up just kind of doing several of those ideas and seeing what you guys think. The number one choice that you guys have put so far is to just make gaming videos for whatever game I play. I do play another game. I'll be honest, that's not my number one desire. I don't want to do that. I will do that, so I've already got a video planned for another game. But I want my content to matter. Whoa! Ducky! How is Texas, man? The legend himself, the god of Fortnite Mobile, my friend who back when I had like 2,000 subscribers and he was around 30,000 subscribers, actually did a collab with me. Ducky, thank you. It's been an honor for you, like for me to have someone like you befriend me and help me as a creator. And you guys, even though I'm done with Madden Mobile, I'm not done creating content for YouTube. It's changing, but I do have some videos that I think people will like. But no, Falcons, by the way, if you don't know who Wapo7X is, okay? If you don't know who Wapo7X, he's here. I was going to mod him, but I can't for some reason. My Streamlabs is acting up. He makes good content. He's new to the Madden mobile scene. But he reached out to me and he had me look. I like his content. I like his delivery. He's If you're looking for good Madden Mobile content, some of them, Wapo, I'm going to be honest, I'm not a fan of pack openings, but look, I'm friends with Slay. He does a lot. That's not my thing, but there is now a hole for competitive gameplay content. Someone step up, whether it's you or someone else. There is a market for it, guys. I know that strategy content, people said it couldn't be done on YouTube. I kind of disproved it a little bit. I still don't think I had any real success in it, but there is there. Someone do that. I'm not going to go on a shopping spree because I actually kind of did go on a little shopping spree. My team is actually upgraded quite a bit now. It used to be a bunch of red. Now it at least looks a little blue. But yeah, there's a void. Someone go fill it. So I want to talk about, before I get into it, and guys, I'm going to be watching the comments, but there's a couple of things I want to hit on before we open it up to just open discussion. I promise, if you guys have questions, as long as they're like real questions and not rude and not trolling and stuff like that, I will address it. You guys know, if you've been on my channel for a while, I love the community. I love you guys. I try to read every comment that you guys put on videos. I used to literally respond to every single freaking comment, good or bad. The reality is, as you grow, that becomes impossible. Ducky, I don't know how you even like deal with your comments anymore now that you're freaking huge. But yeah, that's fine, Dean. I don't care, man. Good. You know, hey, you may not miss me, but damn, dude, you showed up here once again, bro. So, you know, I don't know, man. I guess you can't quit me, man. I'm leaving and you still felt the need to come hang out. But for that, I appreciate you, even if you don't like me. So here's the thing, guys. The reason I am quitting Madden Mobile comes down to a couple of things. If you don't know, I am a competitive player, right? Like I'm not a casual. I'm that guy who... especially back a couple of years ago when live countering was a thing, would spend literally hours playing this game every single day. And the reality is, if you look here, I got to get my head out of the way. You see this band of brothers here, Whiskey Tango and Foxtrot, ranked number 2 in the world, ranked 68 in the world, ranked 99 in the world. This is a group of people that started as a YouTube subscriber league and have managed to make a real impact on the competitive community in this game. Like, I was in the competitive community and then I started YouTube, and a lot of people were not happy with me giving away the trade secrets and the competitive advantages. It was always a constant thing. So I said, how could I keep doing what I do in YouTube and still have a competitive experience? Well, the only way to do that is to, damn it, start a competitive league from scratch. And an amazing group of people came through. And I mean, the number, it doesn't lie right there. 268 and 99, 3 top 100 leagues that came out of a YouTube subscriber league. I couldn't have imagined that would happen. I just had a private live stream where I just talked to B.O.B. Got a little emotional with it. But that is really, honestly, that's a bigger legacy than I could have ever hoped for from YouTube. This right here, Band of Brothers, what was formerly the Coach Squad, is something that I can walk away from Madden Mobile knowing that if nothing else, even if I didn't help anybody, I was at least able to put together a world-class group of players that rallied around a cause that, if any of you guys are in or have been in competitive leagues, they can be toxic and intense. Not always in a bad way, some of them in a bad way, but I wanted to build something that was not only a world-class league, but was a place where people felt welcome and part of a community. And I think anybody who's either been in Band of Brothers, and look, we have had some amazing alumni who have gone on to other leagues where maybe it wasn't for them, but I would like to think that if you were in B.O.B. or if you have been in B.O.B. at some point, that the vision that I had a couple of years ago that some amazing leaders took and have turned into what you see there, the number 2 ranked league on the frickin' planet, that I would like to say that if you've been a part of it, you will know that it is a positive, engaging, supportive place, unlike any other competitive league in this game. And to me, that's an amazing legacy and something I'm truly proud of. But let's talk about why I quit Madden Mobile, okay? Because some of it is the game, some of it is my life and the reality of real life and things that come on. But as you can say, and no, Joey, I know, some people will say it's the game being doo-doo. I don't think my chat box is working, so I'm just going to close this real quick so it's not there, cluttering up the screen since nobody can see it. I think compared to Overdrive last year, the game is a lot better this year. The game is a lot better this year, in my opinion, than it was last year. So it's not just the game that's causing me to quit. So the reality is, and I'm going to try to do this, I kind of, came close to tearing up when I was talking to my BOB fam for the past hour before starting this one with a little private live stream I did. But it's a combination of a couple of things. So one, I don't think I'm capable of playing this game casually, okay? And when I say playing it casually, I mean, I've got an hour a day, basically, that I can dedicate to gaming. My life has changed quite a bit. There's some personal things which I will share with you guys. I want to give it to you all. I'm going to go over the stuff in the game. I'm going to go over the real life stuff that impacted it. But the reality is, I can't be a casual player in this game. I just can't. My rookie year, I ended in the #1 league in the world. I've created Band of Brothers with the help of some amazing people that I will consider lifelong friends outside of the game. And the reality is, in an hour a day, I don't think that I could be a competitive player anymore, especially not if I was making content there. And as a competitive player's YouTuber, I don't want my Madden Mobile content to suffer. Like, I've had so many people requesting, "Oh, Mike, can you give me a new defensive scheme?" Could I? Yes, but it would be crap. Why? Because I don't play enough to put together a scheme that's work. I can't do what I used to do. When I would drop a scheme, I would test it. I would have good players play against me, see what plays were beating it, tweak it, change it. And when I would release a scheme video, there were hours of work put into testing it and making sure that scheme was there to help you guys get stops. And if I'm playing this game casually and only playing maybe a half an hour or an hour a day, I can't bring you content in this game that I think is up to my standard. And if I'm not giving you content that I'm proud of, I'm not going to give you content. You deserve more for putting your trust in me as a Madden Mobile coach. So since I don't think that I can put the time in to be a good enough player to allow me to be a good coach, I'm not going to give you guys a coach. I'm not going to do that. Aaron, that's true, but you can still play, you can still grind Arena, you can still grind Overdrive, you can still do stuff. The 3-4 scheme, Dalton, is not perfect, but it's still not a bad scheme. You'll still get quite a few wins in Arena with it, without a doubt. I'm sure at this point it's been studied and tested enough by some top leagues that they could, walk through it like it's nothing. That's just the nature of schemes. But, in the grand scheme of things, guys, like when you're thinking about schemes, I'm going to try to give you a quick final Madden insight. I want to give you like a look inside my mind for how I would build a scheme, right? So that you can take a scheme of your own. So we'll go here and then we'll get back to all the real life stuff that might make me cry. But when building a scheme, I want to cover this. I don't know how long this stream is going to go, but I'm going to try to cover everything you guys dang want in this game. We're going to cover auctions. We're going to cover schemes right now. So when you're building a scheme, right, you'll see there's a lot of different theory crafting in it. Sometimes people will put like 1 or 2 plays for each of these situations. I personally like to fill up. Yeah, pick 6. I mean, the reality is an hour a day could be enough for competitive if you spend money. But if you're free to play and only play an hour a day, you can't. Yes, Clay, I am quitting Madden Mobile. We're going to get to what I'm going to be doing in the future on the channel in a little bit. This is just me chatting with you guys for a couple hours and trying to go over everything. But I want to give you a look into my mind with when I'm building a scheme, how I think through. So the first thing is, look, at the end of the day, you need to know something. The really good players out there know what they are doing. They know how to read coverage. They know how to watch for things like cover 3, cover 2, cover 4. They're watching it the second they snap the ball to see what direction each corner, each safety is going into. So they're going to get a basic read on what kind of coverage they're looking at. So what I like to do, whether I'm building a dime scheme, a 3-4 scheme, a 4-3 scheme, is I want every single time when they come out, whether it's a first down play, whether it's a second and short play, whether it's I don't want them to be able to discern on their first drive what they should expect the rest of the time. So when I look at what I have for something like first down, I want a bunch of different plays that have a similar starting formation. So when you look here at what I have for first down, you'll see I'm all 3-4. So when they line up, whether they get cover 3 sky, whether they get might scrape 3 press, whether they get cover 6 press, they're going to see the same front every single time. That way they can't get used to it and think something in their head like, oh, I saw dime on first down. It was cover 2, so I know I'm going to use something like PA double cross and hit, or double post, and hit that post that's going to beat cover 2. I want them to be confused by the fact that no matter what happens, they always see the same thing when they first line up, but once they actually snap the ball, things happen differently. Now, I want certain things to be the same. So you'll see whether I go to first down, second and short, second and medium, you're going to see at least 2 plays that are going to have similar base coverage. For example, corner 3 blitz and Will Sam 3. They're both coming out into a cover 3. So I want to have changes in the scheme. So when you're putting something together, think of plays that are basically bend but don't break plays, okay? You don't want to give up the big play. So there are some plays that will shred cover 2. You'll see that I don't use a ton of cover 2. If I'm doing cover 2, I want a high pressure blitz play. Nickel blitz 2 is one of the few cover 2 plays that I will in fact use. But when you put together a defensive scheme of your own, because you're not going to get any more from me, when you put them together, try to think of, can I come out in similar formations and put enough variety that if they remember, hey, it's second and long, I saw nickel coverage, or I saw 4-3 coverage, or I saw 3-4 coverage. You don't want them to be able to recognize, based on how you line up, exactly what the coverage is going to be. So if they come out there and they see that you're in 3-4 and it's cover 4 drop zone, you don't want them to think on the next play that it's going to be cover 4 drop zone just because it's second and long and they come out in a 3-4. Because if they think that, and it's true, because there's no variety in your scheme, they do something like a halfback toss play and they're just going to gash you on the ground. You want to make your scheme unpredictable. So you want slight variance within the different plays that are there. And of course, always use well-tested plays. What I will say is if you're in a competitive league, find a partner. When you're testing your defensive scheme, find a partner. And the way I would do it is I would say, all right, I want this scheme to be really good against the run. So I would tell my person, whoever I'm practicing with, all right, I got a new scheme for you to test. I want you to run every outside run you can play. Okay, and they just test. They're not trying, they're trying to score, but who cares if you win, lose? It's all about determining what works. And you look, okay, crap. This particular scheme that I have, a third of the time, they're breaking big home run plays off of it. There's a flaw in your scheme at that point. And just ask them, hey, what was hard about the scheme? Was there anything that tripped you up? If there's plays that are working that they're struggling with, use more of those. And when you find a play that like that, think of something that's going to be similar. So for example, you see right here where you've got the Will Sam 3 and the cover 6 press. They both come out in a base 3-4, but they have slightly different coverage where you've got the cover 3 and then the cover 6. Blitzes coming from different sides, slightly different zones there. If they come in and they're thinking, oh, it's cover 6 press, I'm only going to have one safety over the top on the left side of the field. And the reality is they end up coming out in Will Sam 3 and get a blitz from a different side. It can throw them off. So when you're building your scheme, find a partner. Find whoever is your best friend in the game. If you care about being competitive, do a bunch of testing. Have them try a scheme. Have you build your schemes from scratch. And then communicate back and forth. If you guys really want to take it to the next level, I can tell you Band of Brothers does this. we will record our drives and we would upload them afterwards. So if I see, hey, they gashed my play, right? Like right now I have 5 plays. I don't know which play they hit on 3rd and short, but if they gashed me and they recorded that film and they send it to me, I could look at it and say, oh crap. All right, it was pinch buck O. They were coming in. They were able to get to the outside, truck one safety and run it off to the house. Maybe I need to adjust that, or maybe that plays really good against the pass, so I need to put something in there like cover 6 press, where if they were running to the left side, now I've got a corner dropping into the flat. So if they try to run that same play twice, sure, they might get a big gain once, but that second time they're going to run into a corner who's camping the flat and is going to be there to tackle them. Hopefully that helps. You guys let me know, okay? But when I'm building a scheme, that's what's going on in my head, and that's how I'm testing it. So whether it's WAPO or if somebody else starts a YouTube channel and says, hey, CHF is gone, I want to be the new strategy guy for this game, that's what I would expect of you if you're going to make content to try to help people. Don't just put together a scheme by randomly picking plays you think will work without testing them. And if you're building your own scheme, go ahead and have a friend, or worst case scenario, if you're truly an addict, and I will admit I have done this before, have a second account, play your dang self, right? Because you know your scheme. So if you set your scheme on one account and you have a mini account that you're playing up against it with, you'll know what plays you hit because you know the 5 choices that are there. Patriot, it's not that I don't believe in myself, man. I do. I'm not going to make content for a game I don't play, man. I'm not going to make content for a game I don't play. My content, if I kept making this content for a game I don't play, the quality of content would go down. And I don't believe in making crappy content. If I'm going to make crappy content, I'm just not going to make content. Because I don't want to spend an hour making a video and make $5 when I could put out a billable hour and make a couple $100 doing my real job. It just doesn't make financial sense. And if I'm making videos for a game I don't play, I'm not making it for passion. So, yeah. No, I'm not back to Clash, Mario, and we will get there. So let's talk about some of the things, okay? So I told you. So let's talk about time. So that's where I'm going to hit on strategy, guys. Hopefully that helps. Hopefully somebody out there starts coming up with some ballin' schemes and shares it with everybody. There's now a void since I won't be making those. But yeah, that's there. Okay. So let me talk about why. Okay. So life changes. All right. So there's some things that have happened in my life lately that I'm going to share with you guys. Okay. So I'm going to share with you guys, there's some personal crap going on that I'm going to share with you guys. But the big thing is, I don't have the time to play Madden Mobile anymore. If I were to play it casually, I feel like with an hour a day, you can be a casual player of Madden Mobile. And the reality is, with where I am and everything going on in my life right now, I have about an hour a day of free time that I can dedicate to gaming, okay? And I've been a gamer since I was a freaking kid. I'm like the first generation of kids, of people who grew up with video games. I had an old Atari, the original NES. Like, that's the generation that I grew up on. There. So in an hour a day, without spending money, I do not think that I can be a valuable contributing member to my league. So my option would be to simply be a casual player. And I'm just going to be honest, it's not in my blood to be a casual player. So I would either have to be a casual player or I'd have to spend a bunch of money to keep up with things. And I'm just going to be honest, guys. EA will never get a penny from me. They got money from me in the past. My very first year playing this game, I dropped 2 G's on the game. And yeah, I'm free to play. I've been free to play for a couple of years, not giving them any more money. Overdrive was just a slap in the face of anybody who played this game for a really long time. I think this year's version of the game is much better. It's in a much better place. But the reality is, if I don't spend money and I can't dedicate probably 3+ hours a day, I don't think that I could keep my skills sharp and my team up to date to warrant a spot in a top 100 league. I think maybe if you're really good, naturally skilled, you can probably do it in about 2 hours a day, but I don't have 2 hours a day. So time for some personal stuff, okay? So many of you may not know this because I don't really talk about things like this, but I have kidney disease, okay? I have a genetic kidney disease. I'm 37 years old, and when I was 25 years old, I tried to donate my kidney to my brother because my brother needed a kidney transplant. He was on dialysis 3 days a week, 4 hours a day, needed a transplant. And I said, sure, hey, you're my brother. I would love to donate a kidney. So I go through the process. They test me and they say, well, Mike, you can't donate a kidney. You've got some elevated numbers. You need to go see a nephrologist. So I started seeing a nephrologist, right? 12 years later, and I can tell you guys, about 6 months ago, I went into my semi-annual visit with my nephrologist, and I got some bad news. I finally had the courage to ask a question that I'd been thinking about for a long time, but I guess never had the balls to ask flat out. And I basically asked for a 10 to 20 year prediction. Where is my kidney disease going to go? I'm 37 years old. I asked this shortly after my 37th birthday. And it was my first meeting after my 37th birthday with my doctor. And I said, where am I going to be in 10 to 20 years? And he told me, the reality. And he said, the reality is, Mike, in 10 to 20 years, you're either going to be on dialysis or you're going to need a kidney transplant. And that hit me pretty hard, man. That hit me pretty hard. And it gave me a bit of a wake-up call in life where I can tell you, if you were part of the coach squad, which was what my league was before, it was Band of Brothers, you guys probably saw me playing this game at least 6-7 hours a day. I'd work a full-time job and then I'd come home and kind of do things in real life, try to balance it. Many times I'd be up at 4 o'clock in the morning live countering, things like that. But it was a bit of a wake-up call to realize that in 10 to 20 years that I could need a kidney transplant. And it kind of just hit me and said, I'm spending hours a day playing video games. I've got an 8-year-old who's growing up. I've got a wife. I've got a family. I've got a business. I've got all these things going on in my life. And I had to just kind of make a wake-up call. So, it hasn't been like, earth-shattering. I haven't lost 50 pounds and turned into a gym rat or anything like that. But it planted that seed where I said, you know what, I need to eat a little better. I need to watch my salt. I need to, if nothing else, just get out and walk a little bit more, be a little bit more active. And it gave me a glimpse into the future and said, I need to focus on real life a little bit more. Yeah, no, good. And I try not to talk about this because at the end of the day, I wanted my content to be Madden mobile related and helpful for things like that, and not too much about that. But there's almost 15,000 subscribers on this channel, and I'm abruptly telling you guys that I'm done with the game that you all subscribe for. I hope you guys stick around for a little bit, but I want to be open and honest and let you know, look in at Mike, the guy behind this, and let you know, hey, the guy on the other side of the screen, let you know what's going on in my life and why this decision is important to me and why I'm doing all of this. And I appreciate the prayers. I'm keeping an eye on it. I'm just trying not to lose my train of thought too much and get too much off track. So that happened about 6 months ago. Is I find that one out and I'm like, boy, I should probably focus a little bit more on real life because, if I'm spending 4, 5, 6 hours a day dicking around on Madden Mobile, is that the best thing I can be doing to try to make that prediction happen closer to 20 years instead of 10 years? Because that's big. If I could go 20 years without a kidney transplant instead of 10 years, that's huge. That's like 10 years of my life, right? That is going without a challenge. And that's kind of the one thing that made me scale back the time. Hey, look at that. I'm quitting the game and someone new subscribed. Brandon, thank you so much for subscribing, man. So that was kind of the thing that made me scale back playing. And I tried to think, okay, well, I'm just going to try to still make content. And I personally felt like, as I started to play the game less, I didn't like my content as much. I would still do promo breakdowns. I would still do things like that, but I felt like my content was going down a little bit. Hey, Juke, thanks for subscribing. What's up, Nate? I promise I will be having a Q&A where I'm really engaging with the chat. I'm just trying to get through everything that's kind of on my little checklist here of what I want to talk about. So that was the life change that said I had to scale back playing the game. the fact that the game required so many hours to remain competitive, either that or spending money to take the shortcuts, I decided I wasn't going to do that. I wasn't going to spend, and I wasn't going to kind of half-ass the content anymore on that. So, fast forward to about a month ago, and this is when it really hit me that that I started seriously considering just shutting it all down. I actually even considered just completely stopping YouTube altogether, right? I'm not going to do that. I actually have some content that I think will transition well, and I think you guys will enjoy once I get there, which we'll talk about that. But a month ago, it really hit me that when something else happened that really made me say, I can't put hours into video gaming ever again in my life. I can't do it. And that was when my father-in-law was diagnosed with liver cancer. Okay. So some of you may know, whether it was from the wifey stream or whether, I know I've shown my wife's channel. She does things there. But I found out that my father-in-law had liver cancer. Okay. So 9 years ago, he was diagnosed with cirrhosis of the liver. And if there's nothing else you can take from this, if you're one of the 128 people who are here, don't be afraid of the doctor and treat it seriously, because 9 years ago, my father-in-law was diagnosed with cirrhosis of the liver, and he did not go to see his liver doctor for 9 years ago. A month ago, actually 2 months ago, he was in the hospital, had some things going wrong, and things started to become a problem, and he ended up having to go see the liver doctor after 9 years. They found some spots on his liver, and it turns out he has liver cancer. Okay? So my father-in-law has liver cancer. And because his cirrhosis is so bad, normally for cancer, they do a couple of things. They do radiation, they do chemo. There's a couple of different things. The problem is, for this particular type of liver cancer, the normal treatment is radiation, spotted radiation, where they go in really close and hyper-focus on the tumors. The problem is that radiation, if you know anything about cancer, radiation tends to not only damage the cancer cells, but it does real damage to the body. So when you have cirrhosis of the liver and your liver is significantly damaged already, they basically said, if we go in there with radiation, we're going to do so much damage to an already struggling to function liver that we're going to kill your liver. And that's going to be the issue. So we actually run into a situation now where my father-in-law has a type of cancer that there's absolutely nothing they can do about. Normally they would do radiation, but because of his cirrhosis, they can't do radiation. So you guys have seen Mini CHF, my son Liam. He comes on here on the stream. He loves that Daddy, found this way to do this. He loves YouTube. He thought it's super neat that's there. But my son and my father-in-law have an incredibly special relationship. They are so close. My grandfather died of leukemia when I was 11. I didn't really kind of have that great of a relationship, since he was taken early. But I remember I was very close with my grandfather, and here I have this 8-year-old human being who I'm responsible for, and the reality is this person who he's super close with is going to die. There's no other way to put it. I mean, when there's one treatment option and that treatment option is not available because of the damage that's done there, the reality is it's either a miracle that God's going to do something, or he's going to die. And as a parent, that breaks your heart. As a parent, some of you may not know this. You may have kids, you may not get it. But for those of you who have kids, you'll know that human being protecting and sheltering and doing everything you can to raise that human being properly and well and to do a good job is so important, that I don't really know how to deal with that. How do I help my son who's 8 navigate the fact that this person who's so close to him, who he loves so much, is going to die, and there's nothing that we can do about that. So that kind of made me take a step back, and it made me have some life changes big time. Okay, so obviously the cutback in gaming happened, and then I look at the whole finite of the situation. So it was kind of this culmination of my diagnosis and my outlook with my kidney disease, saying, hey, in 10 to 20 years I might need a kidney transplant, and then who knows, what if something bad happens and it progresses and I need that in 5 years? And I looked at it and I said, I want to make my time with this human being as impactful as I possibly can. So if I have to make a choice between spending 6 hours dicking around playing a video game that I enjoy, or getting that 6 hours and converting that to try to spend time with this human being, because if God calls me home in 10 years, because crap goes wrong, I don't want to feel that that's missed out. So I made a decision as a dad. I'm very blessed with my business. I had a strong 15-year career with big companies. I now run my own business. I have a handful of clients that have made me very blessed as a business owner. My wife has a good job. She just got a really great promotion. So I decided to do something with my life, a big life change. And I'm actually homeschooling my son. Previously, I've sent, ever since kindergarten, I've sent my son to a private, college preparatory school, trying to help him get a great education. And I realized with the finite of it, I've got 10 more years with him. We're only having one kid. He's 8. I got 10 more years. So I decided that essentially I could do what a lot of people do and continue to try to grow your business, or I can just let it grow organically. I've been very blessed where some very wealthy people have come to me for advice. I've built my business to the point where, I'm only doing it 2 years. I'm already profitable and able to do that, where if I don't grow my business ever again, anymore, I'm okay with that. My bills are paid, everything's there. And the option is, do I spend a ton of time growing the business, trying to make a bunch of money, or do I try to have as much of an impact on my kids' life as possible? And I decided I'm actually going to be essentially turning my business into a part-time thing, and I am going to be homeschooling my son. I know it's normally the moms in most cases, but hey, no sexism here. Guess what? Homeschool dad. Still going to run a business, still going to take care of my clients, all of that. Still going to even make content for YouTube, but that's a big life change. And I don't think that playing a video game competitively and doing that is compatible. I just don't see it how I could do both of those things. And, there was a time in my life where you take things for granted. If you would have asked me a year and a half, 2 years ago, I probably would have chosen the game. And in hindsight, looking at that now with what I know now, that's very, very sad. That's very, very, very sad. So because of that, when I look at that equation now and I think, spend as much time as possible over the next 10 years being the most engaged parent I can be, or have a hobby that I probably spend an unhealthy amount of time doing because it brings me personal enjoyment, the calculus just started to shift really, really clearly to me. And I realized that I'm not going to keep putting out mediocre content. I will not do it. If my content is mediocre, I don't want to do it. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. I'm keeping an eye. That's just to show you I'm keeping an eye, man. But yeah, so that's the life things that go through. So let's talk about the game. And before I let's end the serious crap and get on. But that's what's going on with my life. Huge life change. And the reality is I love you guys, but I have to respect my obligation as a parent, my desire to help educate my child. Since my business is mobile, as long as I have a laptop and an internet connection and a phone, I could do it anywhere. We're actually planning basically a year of homeschooling, traveling. So if we're learning about government, well, guess what? Let's go spend a week in DC. We'll do our classes there, and we'll go, you read about the Washington Monument in a book. Great. Let's go see it. You want to learn about the Grand Canyon? Great. We drive to the Grand Canyon. So my goal is to basically spend 4th and 5th grade homeschooling my son for the next 2 years, and doing all of that. No, Slim, it's okay. I don't need a kidney right now. They wouldn't even do a kidney transplant right now. My levels are fine. They're just saying that within 10 to 20 years, I will probably need a kidney. But yeah, I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. If you really want to donate, find someone close to you. I'm sure between my wife or someone else, I know God will take care of me one way or another. If I live my life trying to honor and glorify Him, He will take care of me. So back to gaming. Let's talk about the game. So there's some things that made me almost not consider quitting. So a couple of things that I do like, EA has gotten much better with the auto win. For me, the auto win is huge. If I can go in and spend my stamina in like 10 seconds by going in here, and I guess I'm going to have to play it again because it's been a little while, I'll do that. But the problem with the game outside of it is it's just too time consuming. And this is a big fix, right? Like, it's a big fix that I can go in here, do this thing once, and then if I want to spend the rest of my stamina, it's really quite easy. You know, I do this once, throw my little pass, and I don't have to sit here and play the game doing the exact same boring thing over and over and over for a half an hour just to spend my stamina. So this is a huge step that I think is in the right direction for EA. You know, that way if you have people who want to play for hours and hours and hours, they can do something there. But if they just want to come in, spend their stamina, make sure they're getting something, they can do that. And I think that that's a big positive. I'd like to see them, you know, if I could give them advice about this game going forward, I'd like to see them continue to do something like this to make it so that there's still stuff to do, whether it's arena, whether it's overdrive, whether it's league versus league. So there's stuff to do to engage you, but not make you spend a bunch of time doing boring crap. If you've been playing this game for years, you've seen every freaking live event they've done. They're all the freaking same. For maybe a year or two, doing a live event is like, okay. But then guess what? Like, eventually you hit a point where you're like, all right, I've literally done this so many thousands of times that there is zero enjoyment or entertainment or anything of value from it other than the fact that you get something for it. So the fact that they added this is a huge win. The only thing I'd like to see is put it on absolutely everything. Don't make me do it every 4 hours where I have to do it. Like, if I have to do it once a day, so be it. But if it's the exact same live event that I've done 4,000 times already, who cares if it's a new promo? If it's passed to the receiver 4 times in a row, like, I've been there, I've done that, I'm bored of it. Just let me freaking auto win it. Make me do it once. If I'm feeling froggy and I want to do it, let me do it. But if not, enough. Next, okay, so that's one thing. The grind of spending stamina, while they've made it better, it's still a lot of time that's not enjoyable time. It'd be one thing if it was fun. If it's still fun for you, like, I'm happy for you. It was fun for me for a while too. But after years, it just got to be more of a chore than anything else. And if it's a hobby, I don't want it to feel like a chore, because if your hobby's a chore, it's not really a hobby anymore. It's a chore. So another thing, the auction house, okay? Like, this becomes a huge freaking chore. So first off, a shout out to Random Jerry. If you don't know this, this is the only way I will ever work the auction house. And I want to show you guys before I collect it all. I don't care what it is. Now, some people will say that if it's diamonds or like valuable cards, maybe put a little bit of time for it. I don't even have time for that. So I'll probably still log in like once a week just because it's like an old friend. Like, I have to at least log in and do some things there. Hang on, bud. I just want to finish kind of where I'm going. But with the auction house, courtesy of Random Jerry, what I do, I don't care if it's a bronze, anything bronze through elite, I put it for 100 bid, 5 million, buy it now, okay? You'll see a lot of them don't sell, but guess what? A lot of them do sell. So what do we have here? We have like 44 auctions. I did this morning. You just post them for 4 hours, 100 bid, 5 million, buy it now. And guess what? About 20% of them sell. In this case, it looks like almost 50% of them sold. So I dismiss them all. Right? There's 300K that I made. And if I want to do it again, this is if you're trying to spend no time in the auction and you just want your stuff to sell. Dude, your search is like disappearing. This is what I do. 100.
Miles, no. Now's a good time to.
No. 5 million. And then I multi-finger it. And just post it all. And I don't think twice. I do that, I don't care about it. But if you're going to keep playing and you're trying to respect your time, I highly endorse that method. Will you get the absolute most you can possibly sell for it? No. But guess what? Your crap will sell you'll get some coins, and you won't have to spend thousands and thousands and thousands of senseless clicks and times just to get stuff out of the way. So that is how, if I keep playing, and I probably will keep playing casually and just kind of do it, maybe log in every couple of days, sell some stuff, auto play some stuff, and do that. But that's a final tip on the auction house. I never did a ton of stuff on the auction house, but if you're trying to just sell stuff quickly, grind with your auto win, whatever you do, 100 bid, 5 million buy it now. If you get yourself a really good player and you want to get maximum value out of it, you can do the normal way, going in, seeing what it's selling for, do all your research, fix it up. But yeah, Dubs, I'm hanging on to my coins. I spent 2 million upgrading my team before the stream. So, I mean, I did bring my team up a little bit. It was previously like all elites. Now I got a decent bit of diamonds in there now. So my team's coming along a little bit. I spent like 2 mil coins today. But that should be a final auction house tip. If you are trying to minimize your time investment in the game and you just want to get coins, I would recommend do exactly that. Just mass sell it, play the numbers game, don't even think about it. And then when you go to improve your team, don't buy the best player out there, because of course the best player out there is going to be the expensive, but maybe get like the best player from the prior promo. Keep yourself like a little bit under max if you're trying to play it casually, and you will be able to make a decent team that way. I promise. That is something that was personally given to me by who I consider the Madden Mobile auction house god of YouTube, and that is Random Jerry. He told me about this strategy, and it 110% works. You saw it right there, like 50% of my stuff that I sold earlier today, 100 bid, 5 million buy it now, let it go for whatever it goes for, and that was 300K from just some random crap I got auto winning earlier in the day. So that was the thing. It was simply a big issue of time commitment between keeping my skills sharp to play competitively, keeping my team up, endlessly working the auction house. And again, I made this decision to quit before I had that tip from Random Jerry, but since he gave it to me, I wanted to share it for you guys, because you guys, if you keep playing and you value your time and you want to just get some coins out of the crap that's on your bench and you're tired of the auction house bots not buying it, if you list it that way, if you do it 4, 5, 6 times, multi-finger it, just go like this to post it all, call it a day, your stuff will sell. You'll get some coins and then buy whatever you want to buy. That's how I would build a team if I was playing casually. I'm going to keep doing that, maybe just for laughs at the end of the year. Maybe I'll drop a random Madden Mobile video that says, hey, this is what my team did playing super casually for the remainder of the year. So, before I get into the future of the channel, I have been ranting and going on for like 50 minutes now almost. So, I have seen you guys. I've been keeping an eye on it, but I'm going to take maybe like 15 minutes now to just answer questions with you guys, see what you guys are feeling, and then we will talk about the future of the channel, what I have planned, what the next couple of weeks are going to look like for an experimental period of what's there. Yeah. So let's see. Jimmy, why do I not spend money anymore? For me, it's a matter of principle, right? So I started playing in Madden Mobile 17, and at this point, I'm almost ashamed to say it, but I'll say it. I spent $2,000 my first year playing this game. I bought a bunch of Madden Cash. I would buy like the big bundles for every promo, and I spent $2,000 at the end of the year, my very first year playing the game. And since then, Madden Mobile 18 came out. It was pretty good. And then came the Over It year. And basically, basically, EA crapped on the game in 2019. Last year's game was a slap in the face of everybody who played this game, in my opinion. Maybe some people liked it. Pick Six Brett is like an Overdrive lover, so I think he's one of the like 0.00002% of players that actually enjoy the Overdrive game mode. But based on that, and the fact that it's like you had something that was working, that was like one of the highest grossing games of all time, and you just go and screw it up so much and basically just go against the community so hard, I just look at it and say EA does not deserve my money anymore. They got enough from me to crap on the game that I loved, and I decided that I'm just never giving them any money anymore, just out of principle. So, just out of principle, they got enough of my money to last a lifetime, probably more than most people spend. So, yeah, that's why I'm not giving EA any money. How's the company? Greeny company's great. I've been in business a little over 2 years. I'm profitable. I've got some amazing clients where just a handful of clients make my year. And I've essentially decided that, with where it is, I'm probably going to put a cap and only work with about, 20 to 30 people, and that'll be my firm. I don't need it to be bigger. I have a very modest lifestyle. If I had $10 billion in the bank, I'd still pretty much live a middle-class life. I don't have, huge desires for monetary things. And yeah, so business is going great. Can't complain there. Do I want to see live defense next year in Madden Mobile 21? Great question, DJB. Granted, I'll be homeschooling and life will have actually changed significantly since then. But if they brought true live gameplay, offense and defense to the game, that would be something that would make me want to play Madden Mobile again. And I do think, and I have to give credit, the new community manager, Messina, I have nothing but good things to say about him. Hey Steve Dave, despite being one of the players who moved on to that job, I don't think he did a good job as the community manager. I just don't. I had a lot of hopes for it, but I think many in the community would agree that it was a major, major disappointment. I think that Messina is doing a very good job from both a communication standpoint as well as how it goes. So I think that they're in good hands now. What's my business? I own a registered investment advisory firm. I do financial planning and wealth management. That's what I do for a living. I am an independent RIA. Real estate agent. Nope, no real estate. My mom's a real estate agent, but no, I am a financial advisor. Bucks are on the clock. First round. What do I want? Oh. Ah, God, you guys are killing me. I literally made a video ripping on him. It's funny. I want a quarterback, but I just can see the irony of it, because what's going to happen is if the Bucks draft a quarterback and Jameis Winston goes somewhere else, he's going to have a freaking MVP year, and I'm going to regret it for the rest of my damn life, because that is what being a Bucks fan is all about. Suffering. So I want, not yet, Donald. 2 years. 2 years from the day I stopped being a game changer. It's a little less than a year now, but I have a 2-year NDA. So just in the interest of safety, I am not going to be saying anything about the Game Changer program within that 2-year period. Yeah. So you want to see how your defense does in LVL and watch it? Yeah, I'm not in LVL though, so won't matter. How is your relationship with the other Game Changers? That's not NDA. Some are great, who are phenomenal people who I still talk to, even outside of Madden. Some of them I am perfectly happy never having any interaction with ever again. I will just leave it at that. Some of them, don't wish anything bad upon them. They are just not my type of person, and I have zero interest or desire to ever text or really anything at all. Yeah. That I'll leave it at that. All right. What other questions do we have here? Let's see. Play console Madden. Nate. The thing is, dude, I'm just gonna be honest, man. Like with football games. Here's my thing. I got an hour a day to play video games. I've been a gamer since I was a kid. I'm 37 years old. Yeah, Madden console in an hour a day, it would not make for good content. It just wouldn't make for good content. Zappy, you'll probably have to check the replay on that because we already went over why I quit, but it's basically a time commitment, a boredom of live events, and just thousands of needless, unnecessary clicks wasting my time. I just got tired of it, and the option was either spend money to avoid having to deal with all that BS or deal with the BS, and I just, I had no place in my life for the BS anymore. Good question, Enorma. Let me check. Where is Enorma's question? Let me scroll up here. And Norma, can you repeat the good question? For some reason, my eyes are not catching it. Favorite card I ever grinded for in all my years. Guys, if you know me, I don't know if I have a favorite card. I will, you know what? I'll say it. Even though the game sucked last year, I really enjoyed the out-of-position safety Gronk from Most Feared last year. Mainly just because the way the game was, height really seemed to matter in the game. Or maybe this was even 2 years ago. But the height of that player, when you had a 6'7" safety, like, he lasted so much longer than his overall just because of his height. So I was just happy with the way that card played. So if there was a single card that I thought was a game-changing card for a long period of time, because a lot of times how it works is you get a game-changing card, then like a month later, the card is irrelevant. So you spent hours grinding to get it, and then you're like, oh, it's useless. Throw it away. I feel like that card just lasted longer, at least on my team since I was free to play that year, than any other card that I have grinded for, personally. That was probably my favorite card that I ever grinded for. So let's see. What else you got Madden Mobile related before we get into what I plan to do in the future on this channel before you unsubscribe? And if you want to unsubscribe, that's fine. But I would say if you haven't yet, I've got 4 videos all completely different that I'm going to be testing out. I will talk about them in a minute. But the next 4 videos are all going to be completely different. Like just completely different. And I want to see and get feedback from you guys about what you like. And if there's something in there that people really gravitate towards, I want to focus more on those things. How long have I been a Bucks fan? I have been a Bucks fan for, let's see, I started watching the Bucks when I was 9. So 28 years I have been a Bucks fan. Yeah, 28 years. Steely's question, am I thick? Is that the one? Sure. Yeah, I mean, I've gained a little weight, so I will say, yeah, I'm thick. NFL-based videos. So yeah, there's some tips. So let's see. Do I prefer hard counters or the defensive strategy? Good question, Donald. I actually prefer the defensive strategy. I do. I think the hard counter system just led to my biggest problem. Remember, my biggest problem is the time commitment. And to really be successful with the hard counter situation, you needed to be able to live counter in top matches, which is just a bigger time investment. I do wish that I wish that they would tweak it a little bit. For example, right? Like if we go in here to arena and then go into your defensive strategy, which we covered defensive strategy, but I guess this is just going to be a little bonus rehash section. What I would like to see is kind of a hybrid. So if you remember when we had hard counter setups, you could set 6 different defensive setups. So you could have basically, if we look back like to MM17 when we had like the UF defenses, right? Where you had the run and short pass or the long pass and PA pass heavy ones where you can kind of alternate if you were going for a soft counter kind of setup. But you could basically have like 5 different game plans. I would like to see them do something similar where you take the defensive strategy here and then have like 5 different choices. So you could basically have a 4-3 scheme, a 3-4 scheme, a nickel and dime scheme, a hybrid scheme that combines a whole bunch of them. So you could build like a really good anti-run scheme, a really good anti-pass scheme, and have these different ones and then switch between them really easily. So when I talked about it earlier, I talked about why I use 5 plays instead of just saying 1 or 2, where if I could have 5 different defensive schemes, I'd probably only put 1 or 2 different plays in each of these and then just catch it where, all right, this guy's coming out run heavy, bam, I'm going to flip it, and on a drive number 2, he's going to have to go against my anti-run scheme. Or something along there. Or exactly, Greeny, you read my mind. Or if you could set a scheme based on their offensive scheme. So if they come out in smash mouth, I've got an anti-smash mouth scheme. If they come out in spread, I've got an anti-spread scheme. So you could basically game plan multiple ways. I think more customization here would be a good thing, specifically if they could add it to the point where you go in here to your favorites, where you could control at the play level whether it is flipped or not. So if I say, look, I always want to make sure that I have a linebacker blitzing from the weak side or a nickelback blitzing from the strong side. If you could control which side they would line up on, that would be a welcome feature for me that I think would make the defensive strategy better. Now, if they do go the route of live head-to-head, that becomes a non-issue. You pick your play, you can flip things. I feel like that would be an issue. But if we don't get that live head-to-head, I would like to see them expand upon this situation, give you an option to save multiple defensive strategies and switch between them. What's up, Jukes? Welcome, man. Welcome, man. All right, so that's that. What about, let's see, what other questions we got Madden related before I talk about what the future of the channel will look like? Jukes, you missed the internal live stream, man. I was talking crap about you, but good crap about you. That you used to make me sweat, man. That I couldn't believe a teenager was kicking my butt in all these head-to-head challenges we would have. What else do we got Madden Mobile related before I say goodbye to this game? What do you guys got? Well, thank you, Hunter. I appreciate that, man. Favorite card ever? I just covered that, Wilson, but I'm going to go with that most feared out of position safety Gronk. Favorite all-time Madden Mobile play? I would have to go with Tripp's corner strike. Tripp's corner strike. It was the single most broken play in the game. It was almost so broken. In fact, there's no almost about it. The play was freaking broken. If you could call a play in a game of hard counters every single play and score a touchdown every single time because the play was so broken that it didn't matter if it was a low, medium, or critical counter. You could guarantee yourself at least 5 yards a play. That is no dubs, but if someone decides to make one of them, I'll post it. In fact, what I plan on doing is actually deleting, or at least not deleting, but probably just making private all of my entire library prior to this year's game, and then selectively cutting down any of the content from this year's game that is not relevant. So like old promos. I do plan on leaving any of my old videos like defensive schemes where I talk about things, play breakdowns, anything I did from this year, or if the play existed last year and I did that, I will leave those up on the channel at least until the end of this year before I take those down. But I'm going to get rid of all the irrelevant content because the channel is definitely going to be changing. I disagree, Damien. I think last year's was the worst. Personally, I think this year's is actually a massive step forward. It's just not enough to keep me based on the life situations going on. Yeah. What else we got Madden related before we talk about the future of the channel? Yeah, that's funny. The coach squad was literally named after Tripp's corner strike. So, hey, no problem, Donald, man. Glad to help, man. But yeah, the coach squad was literally named after Tripp's corner strike. Anybody who was part of it, my subscriber league was literally named after that play because it's so there. Yeah, Madden Semi-Master. Tips for starting a Madden mobile channel. Yeah, I had a good conversation with Wapo, trying to give him tips. So here's what I will say, okay? If you want to start a Madden mobile channel, okay? First thing I will say, make sure you're doing it for the right reason, okay? If you are doing it to make money, don't waste your time. Okay, don't waste your time. The game's fan base is not that big. Even the biggest one out there now, Slay, doing it. It is not going to be a financially successful endeavor Only do it if you actually enjoy the process of creating content and engaging with people. If you check that box, right? If you check that box that says, yes, I want to make content because I enjoy making content and I like making these videos and putting them on the internet. The biggest advice I can give you is from the day you start with 0 subscribers, okay, from the second you create that channel, you want to do 2 things. 1, make every single video like you already have 1 million subscribers, okay? Make every single video as good as you possibly can. Think about it. Try to make content that is going to be one of 2 things. Either helpful and educational, that's the route I went, or entertaining, okay? If your content is neither educational or entertaining, nobody's going to watch it. Nobody's going to watch it because people watch YouTube for one of 2 reasons. 1, because they're hoping to get something out of it, hence the education, or 2, to be entertained. If your content will be neither helpful nor education, only make it if you just want to make it and don't care. 2, reinvest. For all of you OGs, which I know there is at least one of you here who remembers when I had less than 100 subscribers. If you look at one of my videos then, when you hit the threshold of about 1,000 subscribers, and I think it's like 4,000 hours of view time, something along those lines, your channel will be monetized. If you remember, any of you OGs will remember, I used to play on a phone, right? Using the front-facing camera of the phone, okay? So I'd use the front-facing camera of the phone, and literally while I was playing, sometimes my finger would swipe in front of the camera. So what I did is as soon as my channel started to make money, I invested in the channel to make the content better. I knew that, look, I'm not the comedian. I'm not doing the fart pranks that someone suggested in my freaking request for ideas. Sorry, I'm not making fart pranks. I'm sure you can find enough of those on YouTube as it is. But invest in it. What did I do? For me, it was getting a good microphone, getting a better editing PC, buying an Elgato. So instead of getting pixelated content, I could get full HD captures of my screen. I could get better lighting. I could get a better webcam. So go at it slowly and think about if, as it comes in, when you get your first $100, because I think, I don't think YouTube pays out less than $100. You have to wait until you hit 100 before they pay you. When you get your first $100 from YouTube, don't be so excited and say, okay, I'm going to go buy a $100 bundle in the game. Take that and reinvest it in the channel. Hire an artist. Spend like $10 to get a good looking overlay that makes your content look cleaner. If it's not enough money to get, a camera yet, make your graphics better. Just little things like that. And that would be my thing, is do it because you love it. Be genuine. Engage your audience. Like, I couldn't have done this in Madden Mobile anywhere near as long as I did on YouTube if it wasn't for the community. Like, even when my heart wasn't in it, like, I felt that I was so blessed to have amazing subscribers that even if I didn't feel like making content that day, like if there was a promo that came out that you guys needed help with, like, I felt a sense of obligation. So I would just tell you, engage your subscribers, find out what they like. Don't think that look, the reality is you're going to have some trolls, some haters. That's the nature of the internet. But when you get a piece of criticism in your comments, sometimes it may come across as a troll, but like really think about it. Because some of the best feedback I've got, like when I first read the comment, I'm like, man, this guy's a jerk, or this guy's being a troll. But then when I really started to think about it, I'm like, no, this person actually just wants me to dive a little deeper into this concept, or talk a little bit more about other reads, just in case. Like, so take your feedback seriously and engage your audience. Like, all you OGs remember, I think until I hit about 10,000 subscribers, I responded to every single non-troll comment on every single video I posted. If I didn't do that, I don't think my channel would have grown. If I didn't do that when I had 100 subscribers, I don't think I would have hit 1,000 subscribers. If I didn't do that from 1,000 subscribers, I wouldn't have hit a 5, I wouldn't have hit 10. Eventually, you know, you turn into a ducky if you really kind of are great at what you do, and that becomes impossible. But when you were small, nothing creates a better community with your subscribers than genuinely engaging in them, engaging with them. Like, that's, to me, the most rewarding aspect of YouTube. Because, I mean, look, I'm a business owner. I can bill myself out at $250 an hour, no problem. I can fill my day with billable hours, or I can spend an hour making a video and make $5 off of it. But for me, what I got out of it was engaging with people who I felt like I was helping them in a hobby that we shared. So that would be my tips if you're going to start a Madden Mobile YouTube channel. And engage with the community, man. Like, the other YouTubers in this community are incredible. Like Slay, you know, some of you guys, look, some of you guys don't like Slay, some of you guys don't like Noob Kill, some of you guys don't like everybody, some of you guys don't like me. Look, I have nothing but good things to say about the Madden Mobile YouTube community. From Slay to Noob Kill, I met Noob Kill, I met D Hitman. I have nothing but positive things to say about the Madden Mobile YouTube community. Even if their content is not my cup of tea personally, I respect them as creators. I respect them as people. And yeah. Scouting. You guys want to talk about scouting? You know, scouting is one of the things that I'm mad that I didn't get to create content on, because it's one of the things I really like about this year. I'm actually a little mad that it came after I'd already kind of mostly given up on the game with the whole kidney issue and everything else. But yeah, I'll talk a little bit about scouting. I put a little bit of work into it here. I guess let me show you what my boosts look like, what my team looks like there. But we'll talk a little bit about scouting since we're on the topic of Madden Mobile before we get into what I have planned content-wise. So as far as boosts go, that's what I'm rocking currently. What I would say is keep in mind, don't waste your gems or Madden cash buying this crap until you have enough power or you have dropped the cost of the things that you're using up here enough that you can actually use them. Nothing like wasting stuff. But yeah, scouting is basically these little boost things, right? So these different things that you can put in there. So when you go into the front office and then scouting, you have these different things. I think this newest one, this new stat reducer that's part of this newest promo that just came out, I think this one's actually pretty sweet, this wide receiver route running. I will say running is still the primary, in my opinion, the primary leading way to play the game, especially, you know, just safe, smart, down and distance management football. Like, don't put yourself into a 3rd and 40 position. You know, like, that's a really crappy place to be. If you can get yourself to 3rd and 5, you've still got control. If it's 3rd and 20 because you went overboard. So, but something like this, dropping speed, like -2 speed to your opponent's receivers as the game shifts towards that, I think that this is actually a pretty good boost in there, that if it reduces. The way I currently have it set up there, at least the way I was starting, again, I don't play it there, but I did put some thought into this. I actually wanted to make a video on it. I just didn't get around to it with everything going on life-wise. Kidney issue, Edric. Watch the replay. I spent a lot of time talking about that earlier on. But yeah, I basically, I went with the run stuff here. Basically, defense less than 4 yards to go. You know, like, look, the reality is, look, the best situation where you want your defense to play well is 4th and short, right? Because what happens on 4th and short? If someone's facing 4th and short, what do they want to do? One, they only have one chance. If they screw up and don't get it, it's over. The drive is dropped, it's done. Okay, so you're already in a situation where if it's 4th and short, that's the situation where you want your defense playing the best. So if it's less than 4 yards to go, having the ability, my thought process there is 4th and short is the single most critical time in Madden Mobile. So I particularly went with these two. I want something that's going to help my defense less than 4 yards to go, basically short yardage situations, and I want to help my offense in short yardage situations. That was my first decision there. Because I go run heavy and because I don't have enough things to actually bring these up to meaningful levels, I just want a little better run blocking there and then a little bit better zone coverage there. The thought process being, I think with this zone coverage stat booster, if I got it all the way leveled up there, better zone coverage. Most of my schemes are zone heavy. It just fit my play style. But yeah, I would think for me personally, the concept of improving your odds in the most challenging situation, which less than 4 yards to go in fourth down when I think about it, that is the single most critical situation where if I had to say, can I get a boost or some kind of advantage in any one particular area? If I had a particular down and distance, it would be fourth down, and then particularly in a short yardage situation. Because if it's a short yardage situation like 4th and 1, most of the time people are going to try something like an inside run, maybe something like a quick short drag route, something like that. So I want my team performing best at the highest stakes situation. So that's why most of it has gone into the run stuff situation. Do I like DMX? Oh, Wapo, I do. I do like DMX. In fact, I have a funny DMX story, like a real life DMX story, which total deviation from here. But since you brought it up, Wapo, I'm going to tell you about the time I met DMX. Okay, so you may have read about this. I'm sure if you Google it, you can find it. But DMX was in South Florida with one of his girlfriends or baby mama or something like that. And apparently he had some bad shrimp. And he was flying, I think, to Chicago or something like that. And he had a layover here in Charlotte where I live. Okay. Now, this just so happened to be the night that my mom, who is in her 60s, started having some like chest pains, right? It ended up just being something minor. But we took my mom to the hospital. Okay. So we take my mom to the hospital to Gaston Memorial Hospital, which is west of Charlotte, but it's actually I guess it was the closest hospital. Well, it turns out when DMX was on this plane and he had this, bad seafood and got really sick, well, they took him to Gaston Memorial. So we're sitting in we're sitting in triage, right? We were coming in there and then all of a sudden we see some people coming over because basically there's an anonymous person coming in and he sits right next to us. So we're in this one triage room. He's right here in the next one. And he's punched over, just growl, and I'm sitting here like, man, that guttural, that voice, it just sounds so familiar. And then I heard him talking through these things and I'm sitting here, I'm like, that's DMX. And my wife looks at me. My mom has no idea who the hell DMX is. My wife's like, that's not DMX. I'm like, I'm telling you, that is DMX. She's like, why would DMX be in Charlotte? I'm like, I don't know, but that is DMX. I saw him. He looks like DMX. He sounds like DMX. So we get into the actual hospital room, right? And then all of a sudden he's there and his entourage, and we hear it looking outside. We're hearing outside and there's extra security. If a celebrity goes to the hospital, extra security comes in and all these things. And then he's got his manager and his producer. And these guys are out there literally flirting on and hitting on the nurses. Oh yeah, you want to come be in a video and all this stuff. So I'm sitting here I told you it was DMX. And then surely enough, the next freaking day, my wife is looking at TMZ in the morning. And no joke, it was DMX in the freaking hospital right next to us. And this was, I don't know, almost 10 years ago now. But I swear to God, crazy you asked that, Wapo, but that was the one time I met DMX. And it was hilarious watching his manager and other stuff there, hitting on the random nurses in this little small town in North Carolina. It was freaking hilarious. But yeah. But I'll tell you what, he's a hard ass dude, but when you are hit by some bad shrimp, that will relegate you to being a crying little baby. And yes, I personally witnessed DMX in tears over that. So, do I like front office? Yeah. I mean, I think I did a video on front office. I think some of these things are really stupid, especially like the ones that are like pay to win, where you buy something for like, you know, an extra week of something there. But yeah, I do think overall, I don't dislike it. Who will be the Bucs QB next year? I think it's going to be Winston. I think it's going to be Winston. I think it's going to be Winston. I mean, I look at it with where we're picking. I just don't think that we can get a better, you know, like we could get somebody who's just not going to be that great. So based on that, like, it's not like there's someone who I think we can get that would just be such a phenomenal improvement. What do I think of the NFL 100 list? Anything I'd change? Well, I didn't look at all the stuff that's in the game. In fact, I completely ignored NFL 100. It was kind of after the whole cancer thing started. So, yeah, I mean, the past 2 months, guys, my engagement with the game has just been, I think I've maybe dropped a handful of videos on the game, but I haven't really been in the game for a couple of months now at all. So I don't even know what that's in there. And honestly, guys, you know, I've been watching games, but these past 2 months, like real life wise, with everything, it's yeah. Would I rather have Winston or Trubisky? Winston, unfortunately. Yeah. Yeah, no, I hadn't seen it, Wapo, man. It just, you know. Yeah, I mean, I joke that Winston you know, I feel like Winston goes out there with a very strange goal. Winston's goal each and every week is he says, I want to make the best play of the week and the worst play of the week. The greedy ass dude. He's like, I want both. I want the best play and the worst play. And it seems like he goes out there, you know, and actually does it most weeks. I did watch all the Bucs games this year. But I'll be honest, it's funny, Jukes. I missed some snaps for the first time in 10 years. There were a couple of games where when it got to the fourth quarter, I just turned it off. Yeah. So, all right. We've been going a little while. Anything else before I talk about what's to come on the channel? What I want to do with it? Obviously, the name CHF is going away. I'm probably just going to be Mike. My name is Mike. Wait, why? Did you just get here? Yeah, I'm done with Madden Mobile. If you missed the poll, if you're here and you want to give feedback, there is on the community tab of my channel a poll asking you guys a couple of things that I had, which I'm going to get into. So if you're here, maybe you listen a little more about what those things are, and from there, then you can kind of give me your feedback. Can show the team, sure, here. The team is trash, guys. I haven't played I haven't really played in a couple months. There's the offense. There's the defense. There's the special teams. All about the power. Yeah, no, Jimmy, I mean, I hope so too, man. You know, when you're dealing with a, when I deal, Wapo, dude, man, it's your channel, man. All I say is I can give you the, you know, I already told you the advice. I think Wapo's tough because you're, you know, with CHF, I was fighting the algorithm against insurmountable odds, trying to gain rank against congestive heart failure. You're trying to fight the Washington Post. You're not going to win that one. I couldn't beat congestive heart failure for ranking. You're not going to beat the Washington Post for ranking unless you go get like 3 mil subs or something like that. But yeah, you can have whatever name you want, man. I am, after this stream, done with the game. At least I will check out Madden Mobile 21. I'm not going to promise you guys content on it yet. I'm not going to say that it's not a possibility. Who knows? Life changes. But yeah, so, yeah. So let me, I'm just pulling something up here on my phone real quick so I can go over kind of the thought process of these where I talk about what I am thinking. Okay. So yeah, Supreme, that's, I mean, that's probably going to be a part of it. I mean, that's something I do. Okay. Like, I mean, that's something I do. They're not animal rescues. We do service dogs for wounded vets and special needs kids, but, I have a couple of things. So I posted a poll announcing that I quit and that I'm moving on to different things, and I kind of threw out, what do you guys want to see? Okay, and there were 3 leaders within there. Okay, so the big one is about half of the people said that they want me to make content on whatever game I play. So I will be making at least one video on the game I now play. I do play one game. I have found a game that as a free-to-play player, I can play within my 1 hour a day. I basically have 3 20-minute sessions that I can max out in everything that I need as a free-to-play player, feel like I'm developing well, reaching a good place, and I can do that in an hour or less a day. Since I found that game, and that was not possible with my goals in Madden, that became my game over Madden. I've been playing it about 270 days, and that game happens to be Marvel Strike Force. It's a turn-based squad RPG. Basically takes me back to like my childhood of like playing the old JRPGs where you have different like classes where you got like your tank, your healer, those kind of things. The gameplay's good, the graphics are good, the strategy's good. I like the game, and best of all, I can do everything I want to do, not feel like I'm missing out, and if I only have a half hour to play, I can still do that. I could have 3 10-minute sessions in a day, and I can do that. If I want to play a little more, I could have 3 20-minute sessions, and it's good. I'm gonna make at least one video kind of going over that, just to introduce you guys to the game. If you liked it, if you happen to like the game, and people like it, I'll do that. Yeah, Casino makes great content for sure, man. I like Valley too, by the way, Wapo. That was one. That one's technically in the lead as whatever game I actually play. The other thing, sports commentary. Look, at the end of the day, I am a football fan to my core. I love the game. I love everything about the game. I'm the type of person who actually like enjoys looking at things like stunts on defense and like the way they, different disguised ways to blitz the A gap and stuff like that. So granted, we're at the end of the season now, but one of the things could simply be like sports commentary, where I take highlights, talk about them, break things down, whether it's film breakdowns, things there. That was an idea that got about 25% of the votes. I will be in line with that. So I've told you one video I will be making is kind of a Marvel Strike Force introduction, and I'll probably frame it in the way of like why I switched to Marvel Strike Force from Madden Mobile, like things that I like that Marvel does that Madden doesn't do for me anymore. Another one I will be doing is sports commentary, so you can count on a breakdown of both the AFC and the NFC Championship game. I will be watching both of those tomorrow, and I will be doing a breakdown of some sort of sports-related commentary related to both the AFC and the NFC game. I am not sure if that will be one video or if there will be one video for each game. That's going to be one of the things I am trying. Again, for you hardcore guys who are with me, who are going to give me a chance to check out the new content, it's going to be a bit of a mixed bag for a little bit, but I promise you whatever I put out will be something that when I look at the final product, if I like it, I will upload it. If I think it is crap, I will not upload it. I don't want to put out crap for you guys. That is why I have not been just making Madden Mobile content just to make Madden Mobile content. If I am not happy with the content, it is not worth my time to make it. So that's 2 of the topics. Whatever game I play, it happens to be Marvel Strike Force. I'm going to make at least one Marvel Strike Force video. If people like it or have questions, or I find a niche that is there, maybe I make more videos on that. There will be some sports commentary. It'll mostly be football. Football season's ending. Not a huge fan of some other sports, so that might maybe a part-time thing. Or of course could cover things periodically like trades in the off season, needs on certain teams, things there, but general sports commentary from me, broken down with the same kind of football analytical mind that I apply to Madden Mobile, apply it to real life. Who do I have tomorrow? Well, considering my actual playoff predictions were busted, I am going to go with the 49ers, and at this point, how can you not say the Titans? They are the Giant Slayers right now. Yeah, Matt Jr., I'm a football fan, so if I check it out, if I go the route of sports commentary and analysis, there might be the occasional video there. But Super Bowl, I am going to say Titans and Niners. it was originally Patriots and Niners. I'm going to stick with Niners, and I am going to go with the Titans since they beat the Patriots. So, and then the other thing that I thought about is a complete change, right? When I set out to do Madden mobile content, my content, I would like to say, was very unique, especially at the time. No one was making content that was designed to help people play the game better at the time. There were pack openings, there was entertaining stuff. Some people were doing promo breakdowns, but no one went into Madden Mobile's YouTube community and said, my goal is to make content that will make people better players. So I looked at that and I said, I don't know if there's a market for it. I don't know if anybody will watch it, but I think that this is an area that I could do something that nobody else is doing that people will find helpful. I know I'm not the most entertaining person. I can't do that, but I can probably help people learn to read a defense better. I can probably help people learn to pick up coverage. I can help people do certain things that can make them feel more successful in the game, because if you feel more successful in the game, you enjoy it more. So, the third choice, which is the third option of the 5 choices that are there, which picked up about 20% of the vote, is essentially taking what I do professionally for a living and finding a way to take the most useful and helpful real-world examples of that and bring that to you. So what I do for a living is I help people with their finances, whether it is with financial planning, whether it is with asset management, retirement planning, estate planning, trust plan. I'm a comprehensive, full-service financial planner and asset manager. So what I see as a big problem, which the state I live in, North Carolina, made a huge step recently where they're actually looking to start teaching personal finance at the high school level, which I think is something that really worldwide, should be mandatory education. Because I think it's crap that you have people coming out of high school who are great with British literature but can't balance their own freaking checkbook. And then some predatory bank comes along and gets them paying 27% interest, and their $500 TV cost them $3,000 by the time they finally paid it off. I think it's criminal. And the reality is, I'm 37 years old. Probably, if I really wanted to, could retire. And the only reason is because I made good decisions when I was young. I started saving for retirement when I was 18 years old. So even though I'm 37, I've got almost 20 years of saving under my belt. So one of those ideas is to bring tangible, real-world, free tips through YouTube to help people improve their financial situation, whether it's someone who's a 16-year-old kid who just got their first job at a grocery store and actually has the foresight to start thinking about retirement at that age, because I can promise you, Social Security will not be there for you if you are 16 in the way it is there for people who are right now. So I want to find a way, because the reality is, it's the people who have $1 million or more that I manage assets for that keep a roof over my head. But the people who really need the most help are the people who don't have any money. And the reality is, the way the investment advice world works, those people don't get help. Because if there's not a way to make a profitable business out of it, most financial advisors won't help them. So my thought is, how can I take all that I know as a certified financial planner, as someone with 17 years of experience in the industry, how can I take that and reach people with helpful, relative, informative content that they could apply in their real life to get better? So I've got a video planned there specifically breaking down what I think is the single best long-term vehicle for someone, whether they are 16 years old or 50 years old, going into detail about something called a Roth IRA. I'm going to talk about not only the Roth IRA, but custodial Roth IRAs. But yes, Graham Stephan is an incredible YouTuber. When I look at him, he is a young guy. As a financial planner, and I look at someone like Graham, who is a real estate agent who's kind of done something there. That's not his career, but when I listen to Graham's video, Graham knows what he is talking about. I love Graham's content, Tony. He is a great voice of real sound logic. He says real, true, factually evident things. And unlike a lot of the content that's on YouTube, where it is shock, click, head baits when it comes to financial content, where people are like, the market's going to crash, sell now, and all these things that are designed to do that. But I'm going to try to take complex financial things that are really important from a financial planning and really break them down to the core levels so that if you share it, like, so if you're in your 30s or 40s or 50s, you can look at it and get something from it. But if you want to share it with your 16-year-old nephew, he can get something out of it that would really do that. So that's a video I have planned right now as well. So those are my current 3 videos that I have planned over. I don't know what's going on with next week. My goal, at least at this point, is to try to get all 3 of those out next week, see what people like, and then go from there. And on there, I've been going like an hour and a half now. It's been a lot. What do you guys think? What do you guys want to see? Knowing that I'm out of this game, I know I've given a couple of different ideas. What are your thoughts? What do you think? What do you guys want to see? Because, I mean, you 64 who are still here, you guys are the hardcore ones. You've been with me an hour and a half. I'm leaving the game that brought you guys all here, yet you guys are still here. Yes, Nate, I am married. I am married. Yeah. Going on 15 years married, man. That's fantastic, Hunter. That's fantastic. That video, I'm actually going to be specific because I know there is a good portion of my audience that's teenagers. That video, I am going to have a good section of it talking specifically to teenagers. Specifically to teenagers. Something that you can take from that video and go to your parents and say, Mom and Dad, I want to go open this custodial account and put a little bit into it from here. Can you help me with this? I'm going to give you the exact things that you can go there in that video. So let's see what else is here. Valuetainment. Okay, let me jot that down real quick. I will check that out. Can I be a Pop Warner coach? I probably could. I just don't have the time. I don't really want to, if I'm being perfectly honest. Terrell, man, I don't want to rehash it, dude. I've been going an hour and a half on that, but I will be leaving this stream up. If I talk about that in the beginning, though. So if you missed the beginning, just rewatch it once it's posted. I'd say the first like 30 minutes is talking about that one. Yeah, Jimmy, I believe that if you can't explain something to a 10-year-old, you don't know it as well as you think you do. If you claim to be an expert at something, if you cannot explain it to a 10-year-old, you are not an expert in it. I don't care what it is. I don't care how complex it is. If you are an astrophysicist, you better be able to break that down to at least be able to explain the key important concepts to a 10-year-old, or you're not a good astrophysicist, in my opinion. So, yeah. Saggy, thank you for that, man. That's the big thing, man. I'm excited. It's a little scary, the idea of being a homeschool teacher, but yeah, it's at the same time it's exciting. And I know, guess what? If for some reason God calls me home in 10 years because I don't get a kidney transplant or whatever it may be, I'll at least know that I did a wonderful thing and engaged my son at a level that will touch his life for the rest of his life. So. But Julius, no, man, I'm good, man. I'm good there. I'm blessed to have a very financially successful wife. I have a profitable business that, I could work myself like a dog and make $1 million a year, but I don't really need to. I'm 37, and technically, if I didn't ever want to work another day other than keeping my existing clients, I'd actually be okay. So, yeah. What else you got? Anybody got any ideas that I didn't think of? Is there any type of content that you guys would want to see that you think that's there? Anybody have suggestions for what the heck I should call the channel? I'm definitely doing away with CHF. I'm tired of fighting the algorithm against congestive heart failure. So At first I was like, oh, if I go the finance route, I could just call it like, coaching household finance or something. No, and I'm done with CHF, man. I fought the algorithm for 3 years, and I'm still falling behind, videos that have 400 views when you type in CHF. So, teach us how to make money. Yeah, I mean the best way to make money is to work, dude. I mean, I hate to say it, the best way to make money is to work. Hands down. Really, I joke. There's 3 ways to get rich, and only 3 ways to get rich. Okay, if getting rich is your goal, there's 3 ways to get rich. Okay, that's it. 3 ways. 1, get lucky. That's one. It is technically a way to get rich. You buy a lotto ticket, which I consider a tax on people who are bad at math. If you happen to beat the odds and win $100 million, you're rich. You got lucky. If you happen to be born to like really rich parents and you get a couple $1 million inheritance, you can get lucky. That's one way to get rich. Another way to get rich, you can create something, whether it's a patent, whether it's a book. But if you create something that people want, that is a way you can get rich. You create Google, something innovative. You do something you create something that's necessary, you can get rich. And then there is what I think is the single most attainable way that anybody can get rich, is to be a disciplined saver, is to create lifestyle habits early in your life where you are saving and investing and allowing markets to work for you over time. If you can start those habits when you are young, if you are very aggressive with that, it is not unreasonable. If you control all of the things that you control, you live a modest lifestyle, you live well within your means, you have a high savings rate, you don't take too much risk, you manage risk, it is not uncommon for you to be able to retire by 45, 50. It all matters how early you start. Honestly, the best thing to do, in my opinion, is from the very first day you have $1 come in, start saving. If you do that, with every $1 you ever make, you will be able to retire wealthy and early if you make right decisions. Those are the 3 ways to get rich, in my opinion. Let's see. Life skills with Mike. Yeah, Julius, I talked about it a little earlier. I have kidney disease. I will probably need a transplant in the next 10 to 20 years. Am I going to retire at 45 to 50? Nate, I don't know if I'll ever sell my firm. I'm very selective with my clients. As much as a client interviews me, I interview a client. I have told someone who had $50 million who wanted to work with me that I did not want to work with him, despite the fact that that would probably be about $60,000 or $70,000 a year from one client. It was, in my opinion, not a good fit for my firm. So the reality is, I don't know if I'll ever retire. I will probably cap my active clients at about 25 or 30, which will allow me to basically have a very manageable workload and still be able to dedicate 4 or 5 hours a day to homeschooling my son and doing real life things. So I don't know if I will ever fully retire because I enjoy what I do. But yeah. At the end of the day, I've got a roof over my head. I have all of the things that I need. My lifestyle is provided for. I'm blessed with a wife who has a good job with great benefits. So yeah. Now, if things change there, I may have to start working a lot harder because as a business owner, buying health insurance is extremely expensive. So if I didn't have the corporate subsidized insurance, I'd probably have to up that target client of 25 to 30, probably up to about 50. Marvel makes Mike money. Yeah, man, I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to think about the name, guys. But we've been going, I got about another 15 minutes. I promised you guys I would go for 2 hours. We are going at about an hour 45 now. But I think I've covered, I've covered everything that was on my list. I went over why I quit Madden. I covered a few of the things that were kind of outstanding where we talked about defensive strategy at the conceptual level. We talked about the auction house. We talked about the boosts and that whole section, and then talked about the future of the channel. Buck the system. Jimmy, I actually really like that. I don't know if I'm going to use it because of the kind of. I'm writing it down though. I don't hate that. I don't like that. I don't hate that. I like the kind of play on why. Do my clients know I own this channel? Some of them. I mean, it is in my ADV that I own a YouTube channel, so it is disclosed. I mean, I own an RIA firm. It's all a federal thing. And in fact, oddly enough, one of my big clients actually came from my YouTube subscriber. They heard in they heard in one of my videos that I was a financial advisor, and they reached out to me, and it was a subscriber, and I've got a great relationship now, like as a business relationship that I helped them out with it. And it came from there. And that's just one of the ways that I look at it. Like I just try to do what I can to do, and I kind of put a lot in God's hands. I don't talk about it, but I'm big on faith. So no, Junior, I will not. There will not be any more Madden mobile videos this year. I made the decision, man. So I'm not going to do it. I apologize. But I mean, here, I'll tell you what, we'll cover it really quickly. I don't know if it's the Pro Bowl, but this Master Series that just dropped, right? Like, I already did the gauntlet, guys. I already did the gauntlet. It was really easy. You just come in here, you do the one shot. It was basically like 20 minutes, and I got myself a 96. So, what happened to the auction house? You'll have to go back in the replay, but the auction house sucks. But there's a Pedro. If there was any one tip, if I had to break it down without doing a video, and again, I'm already promising you guys the videos that's going to be really good, helpful information for a young person who wants to set themselves up for the future. But if there is one thing, Pedro, if there is only one piece of advice that I could give to anybody at all, okay? I don't care what country you're in. I don't care what your socioeconomic status is. I don't care what your situation is. This one generic piece of advice applies to absolutely every single situation without any sort of variance. Get in the habit of saving. Think of planned saving the same way you think of a bill. So if you set a goal to save 10% of your income, for example, and it's different for everybody. You could work with a financial advisor to find it out. You could do numbers on your own, find it out. Maybe I'll have content that can help you find ways to do that on your own if that's the route I take the channel. Get in the habit of finding an amount that is within your means, put it down on paper, and without hesitation, without thinking, say, I am putting this money away and I will not touch it until I am at least 60 years old. If you start doing that and you start the habit from the second you start earning money and you make that a lifelong habit, that one decision will be the best financial decision you could ever make to create an environment and a mentality of saving for the future. It will allow you to encounter things that when you hit a hardship later in life, it will allow you to have the buffer to do that. It allowed me at 35 years old to walk away from a six-figure salary and start a business with 0 clients. If I did not do that from when I was 18 years old, I would not be in a situation where I'm 37 years old and basically get to work as much as I want to work. That's the reality. So if there is one thing I can teach you, you find what it is. If you tell yourself you're going to save 5%, if you tell yourself you're going to save 10%, I don't care. If you say you're going to save 10%, if you make $20, take $2 and put it in an account. That's simple. And don't touch it. Invest it, leave it alone. But if you start that as a habit when you are young, and no matter what, you stick to it, I promise you, whenever you retire, you will thank me. You will thank me. So, how long have I been playing Madden Mobile? I started Madden Mobile Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yugi, you know, whatever you can. If you can put away 45%, put away 45%. If you can only put away 5%, put away 5%. Whatever you can put away within your means, within your budget, create that habit of being an extremely disciplined saver. Spend less than you earn and pay your future first. Treat it just like a bill. The same way I think of, I got to pay my mortgage, I got to pay my cell phone bill, I have to pay my retirement account. It is a mandatory bill, and it has been since the first dollar I made as an adult.
Hey, Daddy.
Will I still be a Bucks fan, man? I've been a Bucks fan since I was a kid. You know, I've been a Bucks fan since I was a kid. The Bucks could go 0-16 the next 10 years in a row. I would still be a Bucks fan. I would be crying every Sunday, but I would still be a Bucks fan. What's up, dude? You want to come say hi? I'm getting ready to shut it down. You can come say hi.
Hey.
Minnie's coming in here.
My shirt is pretty much
I know your shirt's kind of disappearing behind the green screen.
It's yellow.
I know, but it's the lighting. All right, guys. C-Bets. Dave Ramsey has some great content, man. His program's great. Everything Dave Ramsey says is you know, the concepts that Dave is trying to teach are time-tested, timeless principles. Avoid debt. Plan savings. Aggressively get out of debt. You want to turn yourself into someone who receives interest instead of someone who pays interest. When you can do that,
where did you get that?
Everything works so much better for you.
Did I leave that pen here?
Yugi, man, I don't want to go into the big ones. I'm leaving this stream up. The first half hour of the stream is all of that. I basically went the first half hour reading the comments, but not really responding to it, to go over all of those, to go over all of the reasons, Yugi. I will leave the stream up, but basically it comes down to a lot of changes in my life left me with not enough time to play the game in a way that I want to play it. Because I'm not going to play it as a casual player. I can't after 3 years of playing it at the highest level of competition in this game. I can't do it. So. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being a part of my final Madden Mobile stream. Thank you guys for being with me. I know whether you've been with me for an hour or whether you've been with me for 3 years, some of you OGs, I am extremely blessed to have had an opportunity to reach thousands of people sitting in front of my computer and talking about a video game. I hope that you'll hang with me while the content is kind of shifting. Again, the next couple videos are going to be really experimental, but I promise you that I'm going to put the same effort that I put into trying to make good Madden mobile content into whatever I do take, and I will try to continue to go the route. It's not going to be a drastic change in the standpoint of I'm all of a sudden going to try to be a comedian or do pranks or things like that. I'm going to just try to just be myself, because that's all I can be. Look, I mean, I hope you guys see I'm who I am. I'm who I am in Madden. This is who I am. So I'm just going to try to bring you guys content about stuff that I know about that's going to help you in something that I think can add value. It has previously been trying to help you be better at this game. If I go the route, if people like other gaming content for the game I play, I'll try to be helpful in that game. If I go the route of football analysis, I'll try to bring you guys original analysis. I'm not just going to parrot the crap you see on ESPN. I'm going to give you my real thoughts. But whatever it is, you're going to get me, the guy behind it. It won't be CHF anymore. My name is Mike, so it'll just be Mike. The channel name will change. The channel art will all change. But I hope you guys will stick with me. Give me a chance to at least see these next couple of videos. You guys know what the next 3 are going to be. I love you guys. And for the final time, CHF